Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my viewers. This is BCK or Giaco, the boss of Wangele Voice TV. If you are watching me now, please subscribe to my Wangele YouTube channel and Facebook. A lot of noise is being made concerning the remark that Reuben Abati made about P2B. Though he was not specific, he didn't mention his name, but from what he said, you can tell that he was referring to P2B. I don't really want to talk about Reuben. Reuben is not worth the attention that are given to him. I've been watching Reuben, I've been watching Abati since 3 years ago. And I come to find out that he is very biased. He is anti-Igbo. And he has Obi phobia. I call it Obi phobia. I don't know what Obi has done to him. This is a guy who is a journalist. They say that he has a lot of experience in journalism. But from the way he's talking and from the way he's behaving, Reuben is not worth being in that Arise TV. He's an embarrassment to that TV. I'm not quarreling with him. You see, there are 3 things that are involved in what he said. First, he said that Peter, that a politician claiming he will do 4 years, is desperate. That is P2B. Second, he said for you to go and serving food to people is a sign of desperation. That's number 2. Number 3, he talked about civil war, that the North has not forgotten about the civil war. To start with, Reuben, I don't understand. You're too tiny, you're too small to talk about how the North will vote. I don't understand. I mean, I want to know your capacity to tell us whether the North will vote for P2B or not. For that one you said about 4-year term, and I don't have an issue with you. You have a right to air your views. That a politician that says he will serve 4-year term is desperate. That is your opinion. I won't talk about that. I will not. A lot of people have exhausted that. Talking about Nelson Mandela doing 4 years, Abraham Lincoln of America doing. I don't want to talk about that. It is your view. But you got personal with P2B by referring to the fact that he served in an event that is being desperate. You're quite wrong. Let me remind you that when P2B was governor of Anambra State, there was this flood that happened in 2012. P2B got there. There was a man in that flood that refused to come out. He said he will die. P2B rolled up his pants, his trousers, and entered that flood and brought that man out. There is no humility that is bigger than that. As a governor, so P2B was not doing it because he wants to be desperate. That is his personality. Then you talk about the civil war, that the North has not forgotten about the civil war. Why are you bringing that kind of hate speech? You're being very crafty. You are trying to sensitize the North about what has happened 55 years ago. You are trying to remind them indirectly that because of the civil war, they should not vote for P2B. That's the game you're playing. But Babangida, in his book that he launched recently, everybody was here, said it, that the civil war was not an Igbo coup. It was all collective efforts by officers to overthrow the government. That narrative was wrong. He said it in his book that he launched. So, if you're a journalist, I'm sure that we are all into investigative journalism. which I know you know. You don't make such statement without investigating to find out what really caused the war and how the war happened. You just open their mouth and start saying the North has not forgotten that the civil war has not ended. Which civil? Are you fighting civil war? You're not a Yoruba man, you're not an Igbo man. What's your problem? Why do you have complex? Why are you attacking P2B? 20 years ago, where were you? Reuben, I'm asking, 20 years ago, where were just an ordinary employer of one of the newspapers. P2B, 20 years ago, was having 200 to 300 containers in the sea, in the ocean, creating employment and making his money. P2B 20 years ago was a chairman of a bank. There is no comparison between you and P2B. So you have to keep quiet and talk like a journalist. If you're a politician, won't you resign from Arise TV and come and contest? I don't want to make reference to the previous election you contested with Kasamu in Ogun State. One Kasa, I don't know his name, as deputy governor. I don't want to talk about that. You can do election and you fail. It doesn't mean anything, and you start over again. If you want to be a politician, you don't have to take advantage of your profession and whip up sentiments and cast people without making thorough investigation. That is wrong, Reuben. This your Igbo hate has to stop. You have said the other time that Igbos don't give land to anybody. What is your problem? Why are you attacking Igbos? What has Igbos done to you, Abati? Ordinarily, I wouldn't have responded because you're not worth it. You're not worth my time, spending my time on the social media talking about you. And I try to understand that anytime you want attention, you just say something odd about Igbos and they will start talking about you. I think you enjoy it. But you should stop this. Respect your profession. You're a journalist. Please, you're a journalist. And practice your journalism without bias. You don't have to attack people. P2B as governor entered the flood and picked up somebody. That's a sign of humility. So I don't know what is wrong in serving. That service anybody can do, anybody can serve. There are people that are very humble as Peter in Yoruba and Hausa. I'm sure somebody like Dele Farotimi will do that. Somebody like Falano will do that. I'm sure they will do it. It doesn't make them less of what they are. These are people I respect. I'm sure Rufai will do that too. You have to mind your speech and know how you talk. You don't just open your mouth and start saying what you don't know. Why are you talking about that civil war? Civil war has ended. When? About 50 years ago. You're talking about civil war that has not ended. What is your problem? Who gave you the authority and audacity to make that statement without investigating? You are trying to whip up hate sentiments from the North, reminding them, look, this people for the civil war. Don't vote. That's what you're saying. But you're too small to influence the North. You're too small to determine how the North vote. Saying the North will not allow you to be president. Who the hell are you to say that? You are just an employee of Arise. Ndoko Babel, your chairman, pays you salary. He's your guy. You're an employee. Stop placing yourself where you do not belong. And shut up and keep quiet. Please. I'm just telling you this. Stop making noise. If you want to do politics, come out of it and do your... Rufai is well respected because of the way he practices his profession. Shehu is well respected. These are people that know what they are doing. Don't mix up politics with all these things you're doing. I'm just talking to you now. I'm just talking to you. You have no comparison with Peter. Peter is not your mate. He might be older than him, but he's not your mate at all. He's an accomplished man. It will take you 10 or 15 years to get to his level. Accord him some respect and say what you know. Anybody can serve in an event. Anybody. You are just an arrogant, an ordinary employee of Arise. They pay you salary. You have not created an employment for anybody. You have not paid anybody salary. You don't have any business going. At your age, you're still being paid salary. And you open your mouth and think you can discuss or insult anybody. Somebody like P2B. I mean, it's wrong. He has the right to serve if he wants to serve. He did it when he was governor. Talking about civil war. Civil war has ended since. Why are you bringing up civil war at this age? What do you want to cause? Want to cause confusion in Nigeria's political space? Go and establish your own TV and employ people if you know you're an accomplished journalist. And stop making this noise. That's my take. Please watch this video.
So now I get your point about platform. That has to be resolved. But I'm saying that any politician that comes to you and says, I'm going to do only one term, that's a sign of desperation. It will not work. Just like all these gambits about serving food, carrying plates, and doing boy at parties that could be better organized by event organizers, it's also a sign of desperation. It doesn't work. It will never work. And then the second challenge, of course, is that you say the North will buy into this idea of one term. No, the North will not. Because the civil war in this country has never ended.